EHCP review process from September 2022. The first part of the process is to review the EHCP itself. These are now stored on the shared drive and can be found under Teacher, Pupil Information, EHCPs and Annual Reviews, and they're under Current EHCPs. They've been filed in classes, so they should be easily accessible. Please do let me know though if there are any errors. If you open the EHCP plan, it will be in a Word document and will be set up to tracked, which means if you make any amendments such as deletions, etc., it will strike through the text. What I would like you to do, please, is if you could look at sections B, E and F and remove any historic or outdated information. This will mean that it will be struck through, aligned through the text. Please do not make any additions or make any comments on sections B and E. The reason why I'm asking you to do this is because the system for handing things back to county after review has gone online. And having done the reviews at the end of last term, it was quite time consuming to cut and paste across from plans, comments and text from the actual plan in all the different sections onto different sections of that. So I'm just trying to simplify the process. The only area that you would make any additions is section F. So if you have amended an aim or outcome or added a new aim and outcome and you need to amend the educational provision, you can type that on, and as of last term, it appears in bold red. I will add speech and language therapy, OT, any other professional reports, so please don't worry about amending those informations. Once you've done this, please press save. Please do not amend the file name, create another version. There's absolutely no need. It just causes confusion and we don't know which plan's what. So just press save. I'll know that you've done it. Thank you. The next part of the process is a new part. We're introducing something called a parent form. Again, these can be found on the shared drive under Teacher, Pupil Information, EHCPs and Annual Reviews. They're under the EHCP parent form folder, and like the EHCPs themselves, they are listed under class, so hopefully you'll be able to find them. Again, any errors, please let me know. The form starts off with the very first page, and it has the 5 areas which are listed in the EHCP plan. So your cognition and learning, sensory and physical, social and emotional, self-help and independence, etc. There are 2 ways of completing this part of the form, and please remember that this part of the form is what I'm going to use to update section B in our plans. We're trying to get them so they're in a strengths and needs format, basically trying to take out the gumph of the plan where you can have quite a lot of paragraphs and information that when as a professional you're trying to look through strengths and needs for this child, it's like wading through treacle. So you can either do it A, which there is an example, parent form A, which is bullet points. So, you know, if it was my form, you could say, can complete times tables 2, 5s, 10s with 100% accuracy. Can read first 100 HFWs. The same for needs, what my needs would be, just a bullet point. Or there's the same as the example, which is parent form B, where you can just expand a little bit. Lisa is able to do X, Y, Z. Lisa needs support with X, Y, Z. Just brief 2-line examples. What I would ask is under each area and under each need, strength and need, that you kind of do at least 5 for me, just so we can update this plan. Once you've completed that section, move on to the next section, and you'll see that this is about this year's current aims and outcomes. They'll all be listed there. And we have a scoring system, 1, 2, 3. So 1 is they're not meeting their targets, 2 is they're working towards that target, and 3 is they've achieved that target. And I'd ask you to score it. Again, we don't need too much information in this, although it would be beneficial if, for example, 3, yes, achieved, covered. If you want to put a little comment there about how well the child's done, that's always received well by a parent. 2, it might be beneficial to pop in absolutely working towards, Lisa is 80% able to do this, just needs a little bit more time to secure this ability. Once this is completed, we move on to section 3, which is talking about aims and outcomes for the forthcoming year. There's a couple of ways of doing this, and you've probably noticed that some of the plans for children do slightly differ. Some have the aims and outcomes still on them, like the old format, and some have had the aims removed, just literally the outcomes listed. Now, it's up to you what you want to do. You can still carry on with the aims, absolutely not a problem, and they may still obviously be current and relevant, and then you add the outcomes. Or you may decide, actually, we'll get rid of the long-term aims and we'll just put the outcomes into those 5 main areas: self-help and independence, sensory and physical, social, emotional, etc. What I would ask is that you do around 3 outcomes for each area. I mean, there may be more for each child, but around 3. And just remember about making them smart. So we want to make sure that, it's not as simple as, Lisa will improve her reading. How am I going to do that? What are you going to see? How are you going to measure that? So it might be that I spend, 45 minutes or whatever a week with specific one-to-one reading, and I'll be able to read a page on each occasion with 80% fluency. And that really is the form. Now, the purpose of doing this, as I say, is to make sure that I can transfer the information over onto the plan easier, but also the parent form is going to be sent to the parent prior to the review, along with the amended EHCP. This process means that they are fully informed coming forward into the review. They've seen your thoughts and comments. We've addressed any concerns. They may come back and say, well, Lisa, what about this word and what about that? And obviously they can discuss it with you through Dojo or through me, and I can come backwards and forwards with you. So it just means that the actual review process then is focusing on the plan. We're talking through, we're discussing all the major points rather than going backwards and forwards with, I don't know, I'm not sure, let me get back to you. Just makes the process a little bit more secure. It also means that you've got a really good record of progress, and you can use these forms obviously going forward to use information going forward to the end of year report and any parents' evenings that you might have. It's a process that we've used previously over at Colette. It's been in place for about 4 or 5 years over there, and it does work. It's also really beneficial for those that are transitioning, so colleges and also services for young people get a copy of these forms. So again, they kind of, it highlights simply what the child's strengths and needs are. Once this is done, the form has the child's name in red at the top. I would ask you to change the name to black when you've completed it. It's no big deal if you forget. It should be pretty apparent to me if the form is completed or not. And if I'm not sure, I will always check with you. And then click save. Again, doesn't need renaming or anything like that. Just click save. I'll know where to find it. What would be beneficial, and it is something that we're looking into as we go probably into next year, is more information about the levels of which the child is working at. For me, particularly this year, for upper school, if you could somewhere maybe in the cognition, strengths and needs, just let me know what levels you expect them to end year 11 on. Again, this is so that services for young people and the colleges that they're going to attend have some idea of what to expect when they come over. Once the annual review has taken place, I will let you know if there are any concerns or queries. As I say, hopefully, having given the parents quite a lot of information up front, there won't be. I will then amend the parent form with the new aims and outcomes. So this will be ready for the next year. There won't be any delay like there has been this year, obviously, because I've had to implement them. And then the plan will get sent electronically to Hertfordshire County Council. So the review document will be on our file. And then when the plan comes back, I will save it, draft, final, etc. Plans will also be saved and pinned to the top of the child's Arbor profile, so fully accessible from there. I hope this fully explains. Please know that I am always available. I've set my diary, so usually I work a week of where I'm in reviews in meetings, so it's a bit tricky to get me, but the following week is my admin week, and I do this so that you can approach me, you can come and see me. We can go through the parent forms together if you've got any queries. And again, I can just answer any questions or sort of, approve, yep, that's right, you're on the right track. I think once you've started this process and kind of got your head around it, you'll see that actually it's a lot quicker than what you were doing, a lot smoother. And as I say, I think the information being on file will be really beneficial for you. And I know that it's going to be really beneficial for our pupils and parents. Again, upping that communication and keeping them informed. I hope this is pretty explanatory. As I say, there are examples of parent forms on the drive, the shared drive under the EHCP and annual reviews folder. And there's also written instructions. They're a little bit more in depth and sometimes you can kind of lose your way with those, hence why I've done the video as well. But as I say, if any stage you need me, please just come and find me. So I'm in the transitions in the EHCP office along the main corridor. Pigs aren't there anymore, but where the pigs, chickens, guinea pigs, etc. reside is where I am, where Mrs. Roper sits. My working hours are normally in from about 8:30 here till about 3 o'clock. I'd just like to thank you for all the hard work that you did last year on the plans. It's very clear that you are fully aware of the children's needs and obviously working towards these aims and outcomes and ensuring the best for our pupils. And I really do hope that this process will make things easier for you. As always, I'm welcome to any comments and feedback. We're in it together. If there's anything that you feel that going forward might be more beneficial with these forms, let's have a look at it. Let's have a chat. Let's, tweak if necessary. And just to thank you for your time. Bye.